Okay, so we're going to start off today with looking at the relationship assistant inside the mobile app. If you notice on my screen, this is a really nice landing page to start off in the mobile app to see what you have on your agenda for today. If you notice up top where it says today's people, these are some of the people involved in some of the meetings that I have due for today. And then below that, you'll notice I have my agenda and it lists out all the meetings, and then we can actually break out those meetings, snooze some of these meetings, get more information if we need to. So this is a really good area to start with inside of the mobile app. If you notice here, I went back to my home page, which shows the default dashboard that I would see every time I click my home button. But for example purposes, we're going to go ahead and create a lead to show how we can run that through the process on the actual form. So I'm going to go ahead and create a lead for my quick create menu. Let's just assume that we met with somebody at a trade show and we're trying to get their information into the system. So let's fill out some of the required information here on the form. And I'm going to use the voice to text method here to get some of this information in here. Want to meet with Harry about new business. Met Harry today at the trade show and want to run him through our product lines. Okay, so we're just going to key in some more information as we go down. We'll have to add an industry in here. If you see here, what I have is something called a multi-select pick list. This is one of the new features for Dynamics 365. If you notice, there's 16 total items, but I'm just going to go ahead and select a couple of these. Okay. And then we're going to give some information for who I'm meeting with. And then let's give a phone number for him. And then last, let's give him an address. And then let's go ahead and save that information that we've put onto the lead so far. Great, you saw our changes were saved. Let's go ahead and view the full record. Now, if you notice, I was on the quick create form before, but now we are on the full lead form. If you notice up top where it says pre-qualify, that shows the business process flow that you would see in the full application. So I can actually go ahead and move him through the business process flow up top, just like I would in the full application on the desktop. So if you notice here, it brought over all the information that we were trying to track for Harry for that lead. But if you notice now that we're on the full form, we do have a little bit more information to fill out. So I'm going to go ahead and just scroll up and down the form to make sure I have all the required information here. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add an activity to the new lead that I just created for Harry, and we'll show you how easy that is to do. So I'm going to go over here to the timeline section of the lead form, and if you notice this little plus button here, I'll just click that, and we can add a task right from here. So I'm going to go ahead and create a task for myself. Follow up with Harry about the trade show. Need to run Harry through our product lines. Okay, let's set a due date for that. We'll push it out a little bit. Okay, and we'll give this a high priority. So we'll go ahead and save that. And now while I'm here, I'll show you how easy it is to actually attach a note to this record. We're going to go ahead and take a picture. So I'm going to hit this little icon next to enter a note. Take a picture of this mouse here. Okay. And then you'll notice that the mouse is now attached as a note. We'll give it a title. Okay, and then we'll add a note to this lead. As simple as that. Okay, if you notice now, the timeline is tracking everything I'm doing on this lead, right? So if you notice, it just said I added that note with that picture attached, and now you'll notice that I have that follow-up task from Harry on this actual lead. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the home screen, And I'm going to show you what happens here. When we're on the home screen, just like we saw before, it defaults to the dashboard that I select as my default dashboard. So if I hit the little drop down button here, you'll notice we do have more dashboards to choose from. We do have custom dashboards. If you create any custom dashboards, you can view them on the app as well. You see the full charts that are coming through. And then if you click the menu icon here, you'll notice that all the different areas of CRM are included here. But the cool part about this is, say I wanted to take a look at some recent leads that I've been looking at, I click this little arrow next to leads, and it shows me all my recent leads. So there's the one I just created, the Harry Styles lead. Same thing with any of the other areas inside of CRM here on the mobile app. It'll show any recently viewed records that we can view inside the app. Okay, now let's take a look at an existing account inside the system. So we're going to go to Cargas test here. So if you notice, the account is laid out in more of a mobile form, but you still do get the full account form as it would be displayed inside your system. As I keep scrolling down here, there's a lot of information here. Go over to the timeline. It looks the same as you would see in the full application, but once again, it's just more modulated for the mobile app. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you how I can access my OneNote notebook directly from this account. So I'm under the timeline again, and all I have to do here is click this little plus button here. And if you'll notice, it says OneNote, so I'm going to go ahead and click that. And what will happen now is you notice that my OneNote that's attached to this account inside of CRM has now been opened. I can add a page, I can add a note, I can do anything I need here in my OneNote, and then it'll save back to that actual record inside of CRM, which is pretty cool. So what I'm going to show you next is how Outlook comes into play here. So I'm going to go out and go to my Outlook app. You'll notice I have a new email here. So let's go ahead and read this new email. We're noticing that Dave is interested in some pricing for PSA and he would like a demo. So I'm going to track this email to an opportunity inside of CRM. So we're going to go ahead and just click this little drop down, go to the Dynamics 365 client area here. So you notice it says not tracked and set regarding. So I already know what opportunity I want to track this to. So I'm just going to go ahead and type the title of that opportunity. Okay. So there we go. We found our opportunity. We successfully tracked that to the opportunity inside CRM. So now when we open this up inside the desktop application, this email thread will be showing under that opportunity. And with that, we're going to kick it over to the desktop application from here.
Okay, so I'm here in the desktop application right now. I'm in Firefox. So the scenario we're kind of running is that Joe was like an outside sales. He's an AE. He was entering something on his mobile phone, working an opportunity he already had in there. He entered a lead as well. So maybe I already have a preset filter. I'm looking for leads or opportunities specifically from him. So I see the opportunity he was working on. I can click into that. He also tracked an email to that opportunity. So what I can do is open up this opportunity here, take a look at it, and I can see the actual activities. So here's the email that he had, that the need pricing for PSA. Person's interested in pricing on the PSA product and adding that to their Dynamics 365 subscription. So you can easily share and collaborate with each other through the system. He did this from his mobile device. I'm looking at it on my laptop here. So you can easily share things and work through things that way. I also want to show the lead that he was working on. Let me go back to leads. So I have to look up Harry Styles, and that's also in the system here. I can pull this one up. And then he also took a picture on there, so you can show that it's through collaboration and everything. We have the same information. So he entered a bunch of stuff from his phone, and I'll be able to see the same information on here. I can see the activities in here, and the relationship assistant. You can see the follow-up task. I see that Joe already has a follow-up task to follow up with Harry about this. And I can also see the picture that he put in here too. The picture that he put in of the mouse. So an example of something he needed to take a picture of from the customer. So there's the example of the mouse there that's showing, and I can close that out so I can see exactly what he's been doing, so we can work with each other that way and collaborate, that kind of stuff. So it's very seamless, and we can kind of hand things back and forth. If I open up the record, I see what he was working on, and vice versa. If I had a follow-up task or a phone call, so if I'm in here and added a phone call activity, for example, he'd be able to see that as well on the mobile device. So what I want to show next is just the general navigation. As you can see, it looks a little bit different than CRM 2015, but the overall navigation is basically the same. You still have the navigation bar across the top, the sales area, and you drop down this. You can see the sales, service, marketing, etc. You can jump to your accounts, contacts, opportunities. So let me jump over to the opportunities. And what I can do is pull up the one that we were just working on. So pull up that same one and kind of continue that process where I'd help the AE out and kind of fill out additional information maybe on the opportunity. Maybe I'll put in some information here like the estimated close date. I know it's going to be put a couple months out here, end of June, total gross profit. Put the total on there. Maybe I helped work with the quote and proposal kind of thing, which I know is right now in sales track. Leave that out there, put the contact, the budget, kind of fill out some additional information. So just add some additional information on the opportunity form. I can move it through some of the different sales processes and stages across the top. So I have the budget in here. The need is global collaboration tool for PMs. Move the discovery and selection. So you have, as you can see, a variety of different fields underneath each of the different chevrons or the different sales stages. So each of these, as I move through it, there's different fields I need to check off or things I go through. I found the decision maker. Maybe the purchase process doesn't matter as much for this one. Some of the different pain points and other things. So I don't have to fill out everything unless it's required, and I can just move on to the next stage and quickly kind of move through it. So it's my checklist of things for the sales process of stuff I want to make sure that I cover, or at least remind myself of what I need to do to kind of put myself in the best position to close the deal. So I'll kind of keep moving through the sales process here. Go to proposal, say whatever the proposal number was, and we completed it, and I sent it out on this day. So make sure everything is saved there, close that out. And then also what we can do is I'd send then or contact Joe and let him know that the opportunity is now up there for him. I've made some additional changes. I worked with the quote, send the proposal out to the customer, and he can follow up with them and hopefully close the deal.
Okay, now that we're back in the mobile app and we're looking at that same opportunity, let's just say I'm ready to go. We're ready to close out this opportunity and win the business. All we have to do at this point is click the ellipse up top, and you'll notice we have a closes won and closes lost button. So we're going to go ahead and click closes won. Then it's going to ask for some basic information. Obviously, the status reason is 1. We can change the actual revenue if we need to. We're going to keep it the same there. It just brings in today's date as the close date. We can tag a competitor. We can give a description. We won the business because we had the better offer. Okay, and once we get that in there, we're just going to click OK. And there we go. Now this record has changed to a read-only record, and it has been marked as won inside the system.